about to go down. And I just got to say one more thing. It just reminded me, my boy Carmelo Anthony is a god.
Woo!
That's all I got to say.
Just been named Player of the Week.
Yes.
So that brings up a great point that we got brought up since we transitioned in the NBA. Carmelo Anthony right now, this week, averaged 22 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists this week. I am so happy at how he's looked with the Portland Trailblazers. And let me explain this to you with the Melo fit and all this. I don't know about you been watching him, but he's in shape for the first time in a while. I haven't seen him this good a shape for a while. Second, you could tell he's reinvigorated. 3, when it comes to the Portland Trailblazers, they have a lot of injuries. Okay? So when they first signed him, initially people didn't think he was going to start. But he started every game for them.
He's balled out.
He started every game because they have so many injuries and they're decimated at the front court. So when they signed him, this is literally a necessity. It was an area of need when they got Melo. It wasn't just, hey, we're going to give Melo a chance. Now, obviously, that's how it was played out. But I love the fact that he's in Portland right now because not only do I tie it to the injuries they have at that position, but also the last couple years. I mean, we've been talking about the Blazers. They made the Western Conference Finals last year. They've been a perennial powerhouse in the Western Conference for a while. And what I thought has been missing from the Blazers all this time has been that solid 3 position, that small forward position, that guy who can get his own bucket outside of CJ and Dame, a guy who's bigger than them as well, which I like. That was my thing with the Wizards with John Wall. It was kind of similar to that. I wanted them to get a 3 guy or a center, somebody bigger than Wall, because I don't like my guards being my main primary scorers. Yeah, man, you need somebody to take off the attention. So I think what you're seeing from Melo is a combination of 2 things. One, the fact he had to sit out for a year. And we're talking about a perennial all-star. Like, this is a 13, 14, 15-year all-star. I mean, this isn't some...
This is what annoyed me. People disrespect it.
This is one of the greatest to ever do it.
Yeah.
And I know people were like, the reason that teams didn't give him a chance because we saw how it didn't work out in OKC or how it didn't work out in Houston.
Okay, first off,
yes.
I'm going to say OKC and Houston screwed him over by blaming everything on the team's issue on him. And obviously it was... I mean, you talk about Houston wanting to blame their troubles on him. He's a bench player.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's the thing. I always was telling people the same thing. I'm like, people are blaming Carmelo. People forget what Carmelo has done.
Yeah.
They forget the type of player he is.
I don't only think it's that, but I got to look at the coach too, like Billy Donovan, OKC, and then Mike D'Antoni in Houston. So Carmelo Anthony, if you guys don't recall, he was on First Take, and he had to sit down with Stephen A. Smith. This was just a little over a month ago, basically making his case of why he should return and kind of talk about what happened in OKC and Houston. And so what had happened in Houston, I was told by like Daryl Morey and Mike D'Antoni. Nobody told him he was coming off the bench. Nobody told him the plan with Melo. You know what I mean? That was his argument. Was like, it just happened that I just came off the bench for Houston. And so when you're a guy who's had a stature and who has a reputation in this league like Carmelo Anthony, the least you could do is sit down with the man for 5 minutes one-on-one and explain to him, yo, you're coming off the bench. When this guy has been the number 1 option on a team his whole career.
Yeah.
That's what I hated.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's why it didn't work out. The same thing happened in OKC with Billy Donovan. They didn't do the same thing. They didn't tell him, hey, like, this is going to be your role. Nobody explained his role on a team. And they had a 3-headed monster in PG, Russ, and him. It's like, you have to make it clear the roles. Like what happened with Wade. Wade had to step down for it to work with LeBron. Like, you have to get these things straight. And I think that's one thing we know is happening in Portland right now. Damian Lillard has been screaming to get Carmelo Anthony for 3 years. I don't know if you noticed this from Damian Lillard, but he has been a big advocate of Melo. He's been tweeting about him. He's always wanted to bring him to Portland. He's been saying that before he went to OKC, Dame was trying really hard to get him to Portland. So I think with this is no shock to me. I think it's a shock for a lot of people just because everyone thought he was done. But
it wasn't a shock for me because I mean I saw him when he was training last year, when he was off right when he was done with OKC and Houston. This guy was balling out. He was in shape. He was doing he looks
in shape.
He looks in shape. He looked really good.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm not saying he's gonna become MVP of this league, but I'm just saying he's definitely gonna be an impact for the Blazers.
So, do you know this NBA trainer, really famous. His name is Chris Berkeley.
Yeah, I've heard his
white guy, has like tattoos on his calves and his knees. Anyway, this guy did wonders with Melo this offseason. He's been a big advocate. He's his trainer too, and he was the guy who was working out Melo to get him in shape and get him shredded for this. So I've been following him, and I've been like keeping up with their like the progress and the training that they were going through. And Melo just looked absolutely sensational during that, and it wasn't just the typical, hey, this is Hoodie Melo releasing a random 1-minute clip of him just having the good highlights and not showing the bad ones and saving that. Nah, this was like a lot of good stuff. And let me just tell you this. You know what would be funny? Is I just explained to you how Melo was kind of like that missing piece for Portland. Not just this year, but last couple years. But imagine if Melo is the piece to help the Blazers get over the top this postseason.
I was just about to ask you that.
Let's say that happens.
I was just about to ask
Let's say that happens, and this guy helps his team maybe not get to the finals, but let's say they make a run, or maybe they bounce one of the LA teams. You know what I mean? What if they upset the Lakers or the Clippers? Like what then? What is everyone's thoughts on Melo? Like he's
so
also,
many people are gonna be bandwagons towards Melo.
You know what's also the scary part is he's come out and said this is not my farewell season.
I know
this is not my last year. So.
Well, I know, and this was if that does happen, they do bounce. Let's just say they do make it to the finals, hypothetically speaking. Yeah. You know how many bandwagon fans are gonna be of Melo? How many people are gonna be like, "Oh, I always knew Melo was this and that and all this." I'm gonna tell you, and you know this. Anybody who knows me knows I've been a Melo fan since I've been a kid.
We both have.
Yeah. So you're gonna start, and how many people have we heard saying Melo is trash? Melo was never a top 10 player and all stuff like that. If he helps Portland get to the finals, or even just like to the Western Conference Finals, there are gonna be so many bandwagon players or people on him.
Yeah,
you know, and I am actually rooting even more for Portland now because Melo's on the team. I root for Melo wherever he goes.
Yeah, me too.
You know, like how you root for Wade wherever he goes. Yeah. I root for Melo wherever he goes. So. Portland's like one of my top teams right now. Even last year, Portland was one of my top teams,
and he's balling, bro.
Yeah,
it's not like he's just on the team; he's balling. Like he is like their number, bro. He's arguably their number 2 option right now.
No, my thing is when all the players come back and everyone's healthy, how would they gel together? Right. You know, that's the only thing.
Yeah, because he started every game now. You can't tell him to come off the bench now.
No, you can't tell him,
especially with winning Player of the Week.
Yeah. So for me, it's just. I want to see how everybody gels together. Now, I mean, I'm pretty sure him and Damian are going to ball out together. You know, it's just seeing with everybody else.
Damian's kind of sacrificed a little bit of his game to get Melo involved.
But
that's to be expected.
But honestly, though, that's
like piece.
Yeah. But that's what's going to help him win, is when people of his stature give up some of his style or his play to get somebody else to come in, you know? First, that shows maturity. Yeah. And that shows leadership. Yeah. What's it called? Something Chris Paul should do.
Chris Paul's doing all right. OKC.
Yeah. But I haven't really heard of him. If I don't really hear of you, you're not important to me.